Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining the national live stream. I'm Steph Braun, political reporter, and I'm with my colleague, our chief political correspondent, Judith Duffy. Hi, Judith. How are you doing?
Good. And did I spot the Hollywood lobby there? Is that you're in Hollywood today? Is that right?
Yes, I'm in Hollywood today for the first time since I joined the National. So I'm trying to, work my way around and set up a few meetings and, try and get myself settled in here. So, but it's very exciting to be here. It's lovely. And it's a really exciting day, actually, because, for two reasons, mainly.
Yes. What's going on?
Yeah, well, the First Minister, Nicola Sturgeon, although she's not around today because she's had COVID-19, she's become the longest serving First Minister today. So that's quite incredible, really. She's beaten her predecessor, Alex Salmond, who she drew with yesterday, and has now become the longest serving First Minister. So, I mean, I think no matter what you think of Nicola Sturgeon's politics, whatever that is, I think it's an amazing feat, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is, another kind of history record for her in that she was also the first woman to enter Butte House. So in terms of that, and now also becoming the longest serving First Minister, then, it's a real achievement. And I think, lots of the coverage has been very negative. There's obviously been quite a lot of scrutiny of her kind of record during her time in office. But I think it's only fair to, recognise the achievement of that as well. And then obviously, if she carries on to the next election, which all signs are that she will, then, that'll be a significant achievement in terms of the amount of time she spent as First Minister. So, and that combined with the fact that the SNP have now been in power for 15 years, then, none of the opponent political parties can get anywhere near that at the moment. So it's quite a major achievement for her and the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's an amazing achievement. But it's a shame she's not around today to speak to, because I'm sure that would be a great conversation. But yeah, congratulations to Nicola Sturgeon, because that's it's a great achievement, because she's been through Brexit and a global pandemic, which is not sort of things that every First Minister would go through. So I think she's got to be commended for that. The other big
the next challenge, I was going to say, the next challenge will be obviously the delivery of a second independence referendum. So that's going to be a major thing on the horizon for her. And she obviously kind of fired the starting gun on that at the weekend, which was quite interesting. In the Sunday National, she wrote about how she was that now is the time for that independence debate. So and I guess this is what has been her life's work, she said, in terms of delivering independence for Scotland. So she's done a lot in the past 7 years, and there'll be plenty more to do in the years to come.
Yeah, absolutely. She's obviously aiming for next year for that referendum. So that is definitely going to be her next big challenge, to try and make that happen. So the other sort of big news story today is obviously the Sue Gray report on the goings on of lockdown parties is coming out today. I understand it's with Number 10, and the publication is expected within the next few hours. Who can say exactly when it will come out? I know there's been quite big delays with that in the past. So we're not expecting good things from this report, are we, Judith? It's going to be damning by the sounds of it.
Absolutely. I think we'd be very surprised if there was much good that came out of the report. I mean, this is something that obviously has been rumbling on for quite a few months now, and it'll be interesting. This is, a really kind of key day in this whole saga, in terms of a lot of Tory MPs have been, deferring their opinions on what Boris Johnson should do. The Sue Gray report has almost become a byword for, I can't talk about that until the Sue Gray report comes out. Yep. So now that it's finally coming out, then it'll be interesting to see what the consequences of that will be. It's interesting, so the timetable, obviously the report will land at Downing Street. I don't know whether it's already there or whether it's...
I think it's already there. The few reporters have said they've already got it,
Yeah, so then the Boris Johnson will give a statement to Parliament later. There'll be PMQs. Obviously, there'll be a huge, you'd hope, a huge grilling by Keir Starmer and others in terms of what's in that report. And then he's also said to be holding a press conference this evening and addressing Tory MPs on the 1922 Backbench Committee. So it's going to be a busy day for him. I think what we can expect is a lot of apologies. More apologies, more, contrition, and I'm very sorry, and, but whether that will make any difference in terms of what will come out of it, I'm not quite sure. Having given that he survived for so long so far, then I'm just not convinced that he will go if he can help it, and it'll really be down to Tory MPs to decide what happens next. And I think there's a bit of a split in there between them in terms of those who are appalled by his behaviour, like so many of us, and those who maybe want him to stay because they still see him as the only option, maybe, or who have they got lined up that would replace him yet. So it'll be very interesting to see what comes out of it, what happens next.
Yeah, I mean, I actually sensed when Boris Johnson was in an interview the other day, I sensed that he did want to say something, actually, and was still waiting for the report to come out. It sounded just like in his voice that he's like, I'm really close to being able to say something, so I'm really interested to hear what he has to say. So what else was interesting was it sort of emerged yesterday that we may be expecting a package of cost of living measures to help with the cost of living shortly after this report has come out, probably later this week or tomorrow. Perhaps it's not surprising that, given that we know this report is going to be bad, that they're suddenly coming out with something that we're going to help you with fuel bills and a windfall tax. So it's not that surprising they've come out with that, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there were kind of reports out this morning that this will be announced in the next few days, that they'll introduce some kind of windfall tax, which many have been calling for, and they'll go towards a package of measures to help, kind of new support for the poorest families. Which, I mean, really they have to do something. Ofgem were saying that the energy bills are expected to rise to £3,000 per household in autumn, which is just, again, a hugely significant rise. And so, they really should be doing something, and whether they're being pushed into, or also it's convenient timing for them in terms of, hopefully they're hoping that this will blow over quickly, the Sugri report, they can move on with governing the country in the way that they do. I expect that they're kind of hoping to deflect some of the heat from that by announcing these new measures. So whether that make any difference will remain to be seen.
Yeah, absolutely. Another couple of headlines that we've got for you. This has just come through this morning about it was all kicking off on Edinburgh Council. MPs and MSPs from Edinburgh have now written a letter to the Labour Council group amid rumours they will use Tory votes to take control of the local authority. It's basically all kicking off there. The SNP came out as the largest group in the election, but it would seem that the Labour are trying to team up with the Tories, who lost a huge amount of seats in Edinburgh, to try and take over the council. And MPs and MSPs have actually written a letter to the Labour group to say that they're not happy about it. So we're waiting for a response from the Labour leader. I'm sorry if you can't hear me, it's just got quite busy.
A busy day in Parliament. Oh, I think we might have lost Steph there. It's obviously a busy day in Parliament. Yeah, so she was obviously just talking about the council. Oh, yeah, you're back again.
Yeah, so just saying, Xander should be, I think he's following that story. So expect to hear an update on that later. The SNP and the Greens are hoping to form a coalition themselves to try and take over the council, but there's a bit of a war going on there. And
definitely.
You were going to talk about the UK government hiring a top QC to.
That's right. Yeah, that's another story.
Polling data.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's an interesting one, again by Xander Richards, actually, our colleague who's covering the council stuff. Yeah, it was an interesting one in this paper today. So basically, this is a battle that's been rumbling on for 3 years now, with Tommy Shepherd, MP, trying to get data from the Cabinet Office and trying to get them to publish publicly funded polling figures about independence. But the Tories have been determined to prevent this, and at the latest tribunal on Tuesday, yesterday, then they brought in a kind of top QC now to continue the battle and prevent these figures being published. So it's just interesting in that you're thinking, why are they throwing so much effort into preventing these figures being published? So it'll be interesting to see what the outcome of that is.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll be posting updates on that on our website, thenational.scot. So I'm going to try and get some reaction from MSPs later when the report comes out, and whoever can pick up who's around, and perhaps speak to them about Nicola Sturgeon's longevity as well.
Yeah.
I think that's us for today, Judith, is it?
I think so, yes.
Okay, brilliant. We'll see you all tomorrow. Have a good day.